All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back. You have reached Team Armstrong. I am Blair Armstrong. And then on my right, possibly your left, is Sean LaRue of Sean LaRue Home Loans. If you've watched us over the last couple episodes, we typically talk real estate and mortgages and how they work together. We've talked about FHA loans. We've talked about conventional loans. We've talked about bank statement loans. We've talked about VA loans. The list goes on and on. If you missed those episodes, tune into Sean LaRue Home Loans on his YouTube page or go to Team Armstrong, which you don't understand what I just said. Just look right behind me, Team Armstrong right there. Go to that YouTube page, and all of those are basically a week apart. And you can go back and get some great information concerning whatever loan that you're looking into. But today, I feel that this is going to be a little bit more intense conversation with the conversations we had before we start recording. If you also follow me on some other social media today, you're going to notice that, hey, he was wearing that shirt earlier. Yes, you're right. I was, because this is my second podcast of the day, but we do these because we feel that there is a lot of misinformation out there. Not saying that we are the gurus of information, but it's more accurate than a lot of things that we're hearing right now. So thank you for tuning in. Sean LaRue, that was a really long intro for me, so I'm so sorry. But Sean LaRue, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Blair. How are you, Mister Two Podcast Same Shirt Guy?
I want to thank First Form for their energy drink. I am, which is a great energy drink, by the way. There's the caffeine comes from green tea, but I am ready to rock and roll. If I'm speaking a million miles a minute, I apologize, but thank you, First Form. That is not an advertisement. I'm just very grateful for that because it's been a day. We are very fortunate. We have a listing coming up near El Paseo. So we did a video shoot and a still shot shoot, and I actually have to go back at 7:00 for twilight. So that part, a podcast, and now I get to be with you, which I'm super excited about because there's so much going on in the world of real estate and mortgages right now.
It is.
Seems like money's falling from the sky, brother.
Hey,
all you have to do is walk outside and you get a free down payment, bro. It's really good.
Dude, do you see that one video of the guy in the cash machine, and he's just standing there with his arms open,
Yeah.
and he's like not flailing, like not rushing, whatever. He's just standing still. I feel like that's what a lot of people in the industry are doing right now. Like, let's just see what falls in my lap. Let's just see what kind of free money we can get. And yeah, it's interesting. Free money, and hey, I can't knock trying to get the best deal, but it kind of goes into everything else with all the changes in the real estate industry. Like, how are we going to appreciate professional services
Right.
if we're not willing to pay for them?
Right.
And just because somebody tells you that they can get you a better deal, that may or may not be the truth. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with a situation today that's interesting, and so it's a little fresh. Um, been working with a client for over 3 weeks, and hey, I totally get shopping around and everything, but let's see how that one works out. Um, I don't know. I'm going to a wedding this weekend in Oakland. I'm headed out of town, so it's probably for the best anyway.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the deals and trying to put something together when you're on vacation, right? Like,
Yeah. I
just
think, but it's important, I think that we've come into, there is a little bit of a stigma in our world, especially that we just came out of. Really, now it's been almost 2 years that we came out of it, but there was a little bit of a frenzy. There may have been money falling from the sky in deals because it was such a, COVID happened, real estate kind of went through the room, and now it's kind of a downfall. And I don't really, there's times, and it's okay because there's a perception of what people see on TV, of what our world is really like. There is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears behind the scenes that a lot of us, that I don't want to make this sound like there's this one movie. It's like in the biz. But there's a lot of stuff that we do behind the scenes not a lot of people see. That's what we signed up for. That's what we go to school for. Definitely not complaining.
Right.
I think there is a thing though that is just super simple. People give you money, you go find a house, and it's done. And that's not really the case, especially since we really, people cannot. We can talk about real estate, but I want to concentrate on for what you just said for just a moment. Is that mortgage officers are very, very, no, they want to do the very best for their client, make sure that they get the best rate. And we've talked about this every single episode. There's so many different types of programs that are out there to gain home ownership that you're constantly coming through, and with regulation changes and doing some different things, that when you're dealing with somebody, there's probably, I would guess you're probably over 150 hours per client, maybe more.
Sure feels like that with some clients.
Sometimes they're a little bit easier,
Yeah.
but if you break down like an hourly rate down there, I mean, that's, those are the type of things. And so
I
when
will
you
say there's a
ask,
lot more that goes into it than just a few phone calls and collecting documentation.
yeah,
It's
reading stuff.
definitely more than 45 minutes, click a few buttons, and it all comes together. There's a lot of conversations with the listing agent, buyer's agent, clients, family members, mother, father, in some cases, getting to the bottom of it. And, some are smoother than others. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into making these gray hairs. I'll tell you that.
That's why I shave my hair. It's so tight, dude. I go away
they
for
look
like a week.
they
It's
look
awesome.
blonde. Yeah.
Yeah. I just go out and get tan, and it looks like Chris goes, doesn't look like you're having any hair. And I'm like, because it's all gray there. That's why. It's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, again, I didn't want to get Sean and I definitely didn't want to like we're complaining. Just consider that even if you're not working with us, just consider that maybe look at it a different lens. Like if you owned a shop, either e-commerce or whatever, and you're spending a lot of time with a client, and they like, oh, thank you for the information, and go bail and go into something else, how would you feel? And that goes with any business. So I'm not just saying real estate or mortgages or whatever, that's with any business. So just consider that whatever you do with your transaction in your business, especially in the world of real estate right now, there's a lot of people that are, it's rough. It's super simple. It's rough. There's a lot of us out there, and everyone, and there's not a lot of inventory. So we typically are looking at the same stuff. So give them an opportunity, really digest of what you want to do when you're purchasing a house. I think credit consolidation is a big thing right now. It is not an unknown fact that a lot of us are in some debt. That again, one of Sean's great things about there is clearing that up so you get the best possible rate. And there's a lot of work behind that. Like, here you go, Sean. Here's all of our stuff. Let me know what else I need. And while he's getting that stuff done, your life goes on, but his is trying to help you out. So
It's all about improving cash flow.
yeah.
I think a lot of people's employment, a lot of the income people are making right now, a lot of people are doing really well. A lot of people are spending more than they're making. In the last few years, we've had great interest rates on our first mortgages, and we're really hanging on to those. We've gone out and gotten home equity lines of credit. Um, car loans are at obnoxiously high interest rates right now, and credit cards. A lot of people aren't even looking at their credit card debt, or the rates that they're paying on those, or how long they're going to take to pay those back down. I want to improve your family's cash flow and financial situation, and I've got a really awesome way of doing that. Um, I was working one up with a client this week. We are going to save them $1,100 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, could that change your life? I think it could change a lot of people's lives.
It's a good, I mean, there's a lot of great home improvements, vacations, paying
Yeah,
off debt.
part of that was to do some home improvements, so they're getting cash, but also consolidating some of their credit cards. So
Yeah. At a
it's pretty cool.
lot better rate. Right. So those are
Yeah,
some
a
of the
lot
options.
better blended rate overall, for sure.
But one question I have for you, again, I hope that you guys stop and play that over again too, is if you have questions about real estate, this is another reason we do this podcast for. It's a little bit long out. Typically we take about 20 to 25 minutes, sometimes a little bit less. But if you have any questions regarding any mortgages or any real estate questions, what we really encourage you to do is reach out to us, actually put them in comments on our YouTube channel, so you can help others get that information as well. And then sooner or later, Sean and I are going to figure this out. We're just going to do a live episode and have you guys call in. Actually, we can call in and get you on here. But
That'd be cool.
one thing that I am dealing with right now, this is actually not my client. This is one of David's clients, is getting a loan for condos. And it seems to be a lot of hurdles in that, and how, I don't know if you're feeling the same or going through the same thing, but how we circumvent some of these issues. Are there different things that is it different from getting a home loan compared to a condo? Educate us
Yeah,
on what we should expect if we're looking at a condo instead of a standalone home.
yeah. With the condo, there's an extra layer of review, and so sometimes they're super easy, and it's no big deal. Sometimes they're not as easy as others. It just depends on the loan officer's experience and what's going on with that particular condo. But condos are interesting because you have a lot of common areas, and usually you have HOAs and the healthiness of the HOA with their reserves. If they're in a flood zone or not, do they have flood insurance for the master policy? Um, and how easy is it to communicate with the master HOA insurance? So, um, you know, it's very interesting with condos. Also with lease land, throwing condos on a lease land. There's multiple layers in different deals. Um, there are a lot of condos that are FHA approved. Others are FHA and VA approved. They're on different lists. Some of them are called non-warrantable condos, where they don't meet Fannie and Freddie's guidelines.
Okay.
And so anytime you're buying a condo, um, obviously the loan officers are going to be investigating those lists, making sure your product and everything matches up. But it's like we were saying earlier, it depends on the amount of service they provide, how experienced they are, and if they're putting in that time and effort into making sure you don't run into those hurdles. And a lot of times you only know about the hurdles at the last minute, not usually up front. So it can get interesting. But um, again, a lot of them there's no issues. A lot of them are very healthy. Um, I just seem to be dealing with a bunch of different transactions that aren't as healthy as they should be. And the reasons, honestly, are also the reasons why mobile homes and manufactured homes have different prices.
Yeah.
It depends on the marketability. It depends on if they're non-warrantable condos. It's going to require a larger amount of down payment in most cases. So. Um, it just really depends on the borrower's ability to put the money down, how they qualify, what their FICO scores are, if they have to go FHA due to credit, or how they qualify, or if they've got great credit scores, maybe we could go conventional with it. There's just a lot that goes into real estate that a lot of people think we're just clicking a few buttons and funding the loan, and
Yeah.
that's not really the case. Your attorney, they're doing a lot of discovery, file review, interviews in order to get to court. If you have that relationship and somebody knows your situation, are you going to bail on them the day before you go to court because somebody's going to, charge you a little bit less? I don't know. Are you going to go to a doctor in Tijuana instead of somebody in I'm not picking on Tijuana, but um, somebody who's not versed with your with your chart and run the test and really care about you. So it's just interesting how this how this industry's going right now.
Yeah, I think that, I think that's a big thing too. And we've said this over is there's so many different nuances to every single transaction of whatever it may be credit, what type of house, where it is located, what zone is it in, so on and so forth, those all play a factor in there. It's just not like, okay, I'm going to apply for this. I have a 700 credit score. I have a 650 credit score. I have an 850 credit score. I'm going to do this. But there's different parameters of what can be loaned and how, and all those different things. So it's just not, I think that's the big thing, is that TV has made it look very, very easy. That's another reason why we do this podcast, is to be that resource. It is okay to ask questions. It is okay not to have knowledge of what you're really getting into with any certain product on the mortgage world, or what you're getting into on any certain house or property that you're looking at. If you are reading this and that, but you really don't know the source, start building that relationship with the realtor. Start building that relationship with the loan officer, to figure out what's going to be best for you.
Right.
We have beat this to death, but we're going to say this again: not every property and not every loan fits every single person the same. And I think that's what Sean was talking about, dealing with, and I know what we're going through it right now, with the condo we're trying to purchase. There's issues that we have that are making some hurdles. That's going to affect how the loan is written, what we have to get. Now we have to get different information for this, because this has this, and this was located here, and we had this situation. And so there's a little bit more footwork. As Sean said, just like houses, sometimes they're super simple and it's a little bit easier, but those are few and far between.
Well, and in another podcast I did, I interviewed a an insurance agent, um, and it's just interesting how insurance in California depends on the property and a bunch of different things. And you could be in a flood zone and not know, and at the last minute, it's costing you X amount of dollars more a month, just from the discovery of
Yeah.
that. And it's all about, we have the escrow period in order to do this due diligence. Um, there's a lot of things that you can do up front. There's a lot of things that are estimates, and estimates for a reason, because we got to put it all together. And I think that's one of the things that we're kind of disconnected by, because everything's like 24-hour shipping,
Mhm.
instant order. We're so used to instant gratification that
Yeah.
you know we really have to let things kind of unfold to find out what it's going to look like at the end.
Yeah. I think that's a great, great point, Sean, is that you brought up too, is we're so used to the easy button with with the Amazons or whatever we're purchasing, we can just press it and click it. But then again, typically, what are you doing when you're buying this product? Are you reading the reviews? How does this product really fit you? Do you know anybody else that has it? And especially when you're doing a humongously large purchase of a couple $100,000, are you really looking in the deep of what is going to be best for you?
Right.
It's not, Amazon's not going to drop off a mortgage from a drone and say, here you go.
You're set.
Now, certain
Thanks for
states
reaching out this morning. Yeah.
certain states will want to go ahead and do that. But guys, I just really want you. I mean, first of all, we really love for you to go back and look at these past episodes that we've done on different loans and understanding what you need for those. Use that as your crutch, but really reach out. Our big ask is to reach out to Sean. If you have mortgage questions, reach out to me. If you have real estate questions, again, I think the big thing for why Sean and I started doing this is because of our outreach. Sean is licensed in 48 different states. Yes, 48 different states that
40.
he can.
40.
I said 48, so 40.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
40.
See,
Ready to
that's what
roll in
happens
40
when I say the
states.
wrong things. I get corrected.
Yeah. 4
So
out of 5
40.
states.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a good thing. So if you can call him up and say, listen, I'm in this state. This is what I'm going through. Can you assist me on that? That is what the ultimate goal of this podcast is, to be that resource. Yes, we want you to use our services. Duh. But we're not sponsored by anybody. We're not advertising for anybody to give us more likes and shares or whatever. So that is your part. Use this as your resource, but also share this information with people that you know, like, maybe you don't even trust them, but maybe you don't like them either, but share this information with them, so we can get this out the right way, and really use Sean as a crutch, to help you get across the finish line, so you too can get into home ownership. There's plenty of opportunity out there, regardless of what the media says. Yes, we don't have a lot of inventory right now. That's true. It's true. But there are some great opportunities for real estate to at least get you in. And then as you build, maybe with jobs or incomes or equity in your house, to get you in now, so you can go to the next house, the next house, and the next house. I think everyone wants everyone wants the the 4-bedroom, 5-bath house with a saltwater pool on 2 acres of land. It just doesn't need
Yeah,
to
can you
happen
give me
like that all
that
the time.
and then have my loan officer make the payment for me too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Get it to you tomorrow.
It's
I'm
about
gonna.
being reasonable and making some compromises so that you can get in.
Mhm.
You're going to be left behind in this wealth transfer and wealth creation if you're not a homeowner today. I mean, look what happened if you had decided in 2019 to wait for the right
Mhm.
time, how much equity you missed out on. Like your home almost doubled through 2020 to 2022. Even though it's, slowed down a little bit, you got to get in today because you're going to continue paying rent for the next 15, 20 years. Um, different tax advantages and appreciation. Um, I'm heavy into real estate, so we're a
Yeah,
real
I
estate
mean,
believer.
I think it's important. It's a hard asset. There's a reason why you see successful people that are purchasing it, and the guys that are successful watching the show. I know that you get it, but that is, maybe that's your torch that you take there, is let us be the information for your friends and family for that. I think what Sean said too is a big deal. If we wait for those that are going to use a loan to purchases, if we wait to drop it a half a point, that is going to create a frenzy, because we don't have the inventory, and it's going to drive housing prices up. So what you're saving, because you got a half point less on a loan, you're going to pay for it in a more expensive house. So that is why Sean and I have encouraged you over the last 6-7 episodes, for those who are considering, if it's an FHA loan, a VA loan, a bank statement loan, a conventional loan, whatever that may be, is to get in now. And then, as Sean always says, date the rate, marry the house.
Marry the house
Marry
and
the
date the
house, date the
rate.
rate.
Yeah.
So that is it, man. Is there anything that we missed? I mean, especially on condos today, I know that we're going through that a little bit, but I don't feel like we've missed anything. I know that some people were going to watch this and feel like we're a bunch of whiny kids. No, it's just, we've
It's
got to be,
real.
just
Yeah.
being real. I mean, it's not rainbows and sunshine all the time. It's a real economy. We know that everyone's struggling, in to try to get up, to keep up with the Joneses, and it's just not that necessary all the time.
Yeah, I think we touched on a bunch of different topics today, so this
We
was
did.
fun.
We were a
Uh,
cornucopia.
kind of all over the place, but I mean, it's real. These are the things that we're seeing as professionals in this every single day, and a lot of the stuff that's out there's all rainbows and butterflies, and it's
Mhm.
all cheesy and great, and nobody really talks about the grit and the hard work and you doing 2 podcasts and videos and showings and seeing everything that goes into your day. It's not just sunset, selling sunset kind of stuff.
Definitely not selling sunset at all.
Maybe selling El Paseo a little bit, but
Selling El Paseo is great. Selling Bighorn is great. Ironwood, Vintage, all those places are cool and it's fun. But again, as we're helping people through a lot of stuff that they don't normally see. So
right.
I appreciate you, brother. I know
You
that,
too, man.
as I said, we got to keep going in there. Use any final thoughts for you. I feel like I've been obviously.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to keep chugging.
It is. Keep sharing the show, everyone. We really appreciate you with all the views that you've given us so far. Follow us on Instagram, Sean LaRue. If you look him up as Sean LaRue Home Loans on Instagram, Blair Armstrong, Team Armstrong Realtors on that. Our YouTube channels, it's pretty self-explanatory, but follow us, give us a like, give us a share. If you do follow us on Instagram, don't forget to hit that notification bell. So when new episodes come out, will be great. But again, thank you, brother. Take care of that cute little baby of yours and your amazing wife. And I hope that you have a great week. Anything else from you?
Me too. I'm set, man. Keep rocking.
All right, brother. All right, guys, until we talk to you again next week, if you have any questions, though, or any resource or any questions on loans or stuff like that, don't forget to put that in comments. Besides that, stay safe, but most of all, God bless. Take care.